Good afternoon, John and Connie. Thank you both so much again for taking the time to look at all of the options and most importantly, address all the questions. Here is our chili red 2023 Mini Cooper S Countryman front wheel drive iconic 2.0. And again, you've got that piano black exterior, which is the headlight rings, tail light rings, the Mini logo on the bonnet, the door handles, the Mini Countryman name on the boot, and even the exhaust tips, all piano black. But this one's unique because of the white roof, and again, not needing the black rails and the black side skirts because the machine finish of the wheels goes brilliantly with the Beltline trim, and with black, that would just not look good on this white roof. But this good looking Mini, walk around to the back here, and again, you can see the black chrome tips, and then the Countryman name in black, even the Cooper name in black, and again, the Mini logo. I have the key inside, but again, I can just tap it to open it up with the comfort access, or kick under to open and close. And again, the buttons here, it's a little blurry, I'm not sure why that is. There we go. So the left here, showing my finger, is to close and keep the Mini unlocked, and then the right button, of course, is to close and lock it. So if you're walking back into the store, again, you have that under floor storage here with the mats and everything that are there now, the original books and so on. And again, the thing I didn't tell you all about, this compartment cover here and here will remove. Biggest thing is the seats have to be up just a little bit, about a 90-degree angle, because when you remove this panel, you actually move it a little inward to come out, which again, I can show you all that. But the headrests lock in that position when someone's in the back seat, but when you don't need them, it's definitely best to have them down for visibility as you're backing up or just looking in the rear view mirror. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap here, close that. Another thing I need to do too, I want to turn on the lights to show you, because you've got Union Jack LED lights in the tail lamps. Now inside here, you can see that Chesterfield satellite gray leather with the anthracite headliner, and again, how that piping in the stitching here goes perfectly with the black accents. So it's an excellent two-tone look versus just an all two-tonic black interior. Again, the button on the door there to open and close, just by pressing that. If the key's inside the Mini, you cannot lock it, which is a great feature. This also has the power fold, so you can power fold your mirrors as well. And it does pivot the passenger mirror down when you put the Mini in reverse. I don't know if we noticed that when we did the test drive. Actually, the Mini we test drove didn't have that feature. This does, but you can have that mirror pivot down to see the line in the road, or have it stay upright. And just by adjusting this button here will enable it to pivot down or come back up. You have auto LED headlamps all the way around. This is an override if it's too foggy outside, and basically meaning it's not dark enough for this Sentinel to turn the lights on. You can press this button and it'll activate all of the lights. So let's see how that looks real quick here, because we didn't do that initially. And there are all the LED lights on. You can see the LED halos. Those are your daytime running lights around the low beam and high beams. You also have LED fog lamps. They work fantastic at night. And you also have cornering lights. So right in here, when you turn your blinker on, it shines the light off to the left or to the right to ease your turning ability at night. And you see the sensors as well. Again, front bumper sensors, so when you're going forward into a parking spot, it's going to give you the green, yellow, and red with the sonic sound. And once you're within a solid tone, you're within a foot of the obstacle. This has the upgrade turnstile 19-inch wheels, which are only available on the iconic trim model. Again, I'll open up on the passenger side here. showing the Mini Yours illuminated dash. So again, at night, it's really subtle, but you can see these darker inset hues here, which will marry up with that ambient lighting at night. Now, another thing I didn't show you, obviously both seats have full power adjustments, lumbar adjustment where you can move it up the small of the back, pronounce it, reduce it. No memory on this side, but 2-position memory on the driver's side. But the other thing, depending on the size of your phone, in here you have a wireless charger. Now, if you have a size 12 or smaller iPhone, it will fit in there. If it's a 13 or larger, it will not. But you can always plug your phone in here and keep it in there with a USB-C, which is a rapid charger, which is excellent. You also have another USB charger here and your 12-volt socket. Let's see what else I'm going to show you here. Of course, the main display there. The toggle controls we kind of went over, but obviously I'd go into that more detail. You have rain sensing wipers, and they can be set in automatic mode at all times, so you're not having to reset them every time you get inside the Mini. It also has auto high beams as well, so it'll read taillights and headlights. And then in the back, you also have 2 USB-Cs. So this is excellent if you're plugging in an iPad or an iPhone that you need for a long drive. It will keep the phone charged or the iPad charged, and then you also have the ability to adjust the vent speed, fan speed I should say, coming out of the rearmost vents. And there's again, the leather interior. Go ahead and pull back there now. Here are the tail lights. So as you can see, there are your unique Union Jack tail lights. Now, if I put on the hazards, let me just show you how that looks. Real quickly here, I'm going to press hazard button there. And you can see that middle portion is your blinker. Pretty cool. Again, you got to have these Union Jack accents on a Mini. So let me go ahead and turn that feature off, and let's go inside. Kind of give you some features in here. So let's turn that off. Now, the other feature that's really, really cool about the Mini is you have your safety systems right here. So by tapping that, you've got your frontal collision warning and also pedestrian warning with brake intervention during daylight hours. So basically, if you're driving along and you and Connie are engrossed in conversation and you don't notice way up the road, Jeremy comes running out, what'll happen, as long as your top speed is 35 or lower during daylight hours when you have excellent visibility, the camera's right behind this housing going straight out. So the first thing that will happen is in your head-up display, you'll get the back end of a Mini in bright red. So say, for example, you don't notice, y'all are both talking. Next thing that happens, that Mini logo, again, Mini logo, the back of the Mini will blink, and you'll get an audible warning at the same time. At this point, I hope you both have your seatbelts on, because it applies a 1.5 seconds of emergency braking coming to a complete stop before you hit Jeremy. Now, what happens above 35? You still get the audible and visual warnings. The biggest difference is your brake pad and disc get as close as possible together. So the pad is just barely, a micron or two from touching. So when you apply a panic stop, it's instantaneous. Now, the other feature is lane departure warning. So on the wheel, you're driving along and you encroach over the double lines, you're going to get a vibration in the wheel. It's not extreme, but it's enough for you to get attention to go, okay, I didn't mean to do that, or maybe you crossed over without using your blinker as you're making a lane change. Another neat feature is the limiter button. That's new, is a 2022. This basically coincides with the speed limit, so that your speed will not exceed what that speed limit is. If you're basically setting it within a few miles of that, it'll lock into that. So if you got a speed zone, you'll be okay. The auto high beam feature is right here, this little icon. If I press that, you'll see that same icon appear here. Now it's going to read taillights and headlights as you're driving forward and automatically adjust. It's hard to see, I can't see that head-up display there, but nonetheless, there's that. And then off to the right side, it's probably too blurry. your presets or your AM FM station, satellite radio. This happens to be on satellite radio now. And again, full touchscreen. This still has a screensaver tape on it, but I can literally tap on any one of these icons and basically go into any one of these features. Another thing, verbal commands, as I was mentioning, I could lightly tap this button and say any command. So for example, now I'm going to just say turn display off. Turn display off.
Control display turned off.
And as you can see, it turns off. So nighttime driving, if you don't want to see that, you can have that off for your drive and still hear your sound of music and whatnot. But if you want to turn it back on, just hit your menu button down here and it comes right back. Other features, the parking assistant. I just want to show you what it'll look like when you're pulling into a parking spot. So if I tap on this where it illuminates, that is what you're going to see. And of course we do have the pole out front, so it's starting to pick that up. But you see how the outer ring here for your ambient lighting suddenly coordinates with the sensors. So if this was red and we were that close, this would also be red. Really unique. And you can also toggle it to simply turn that feature off, which I love. And again, shifter controls there, the paddle shifters here, rain sensing. So this dialed all the way up is the most sensitive for your rain sense. You've got a laser that's picking up precipitation, scanning on the front windshield the entire time it's active. And when it's active, you just tap it up once. It'll swipe once and stop. And now again, as I mentioned earlier, that light is going to stay continuously on regardless whether you turn it off and on again, which is fantastic. It just takes an extra step away from having to do anything such as the auto high beams. But I will note, like the Cruise, every time you get in the Mini, you do have to activate that manually, as well as the auto high beam button here. Now the button adjacent is your old school rheostat. So if it was dark enough, you can't really tell now, it's going to dim the ambient lighting as well as the gauge here, the head-up display here, and your center instrument and your ambient lighting all equal. So again, that's what this rotary toggle button is for here. And again, outside of that, I know we mentioned the toggles up here. Outermost is map light. You've got your dome light here for all the lights, including back here. And then also the moonroof control. So again, one click back will be a tilt feature. Click it again, it'll be the low speed opening. Click it again, high speed opening. And then the ambient lighting change here. So again, 12 different colors to choose from. So multitude of different, well, mood swings. I don't know how other way to say that, but auto up, auto down for all the windows. There's your central locking to lock and unlock the doors. The vents also are unique. You've got incremental adjustments, so it's not just open or close. So if Connie's sitting here, for example, she can have gale force wind, and John, you can turn yours down to a trickle on this side. You do have a big car horn, not a little car horn. Obviously the range is getting down there, so this one needs petrol. But that is kind of the basic gist of the features. There's a lot more to go over, but I just wanted to kind of give you a little more information other than our test drive loop. But again, any questions at all, please let me know. And I really do appreciate y'all taking so much time here today to allow me to go over all of the options that you have available to you. Thank you both so much, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.